Greetings, minions. It is I, the Flaming Monocle, here with my very good friend T-Dude.
Oh, yeah.
And to celebrate our very final chapter in the 39 Steps, we are scoffing Stollen and drinking coffee.
It's very good.
Indeed. So join us, if you will, and you haven't gone through all of these previous backstories already, I suggest you go and do that. Join us, if you will, in the final episode of the 39 Steps.
High tides.
Could Hannay have got it all wrong? The final stand will reveal all.
Or is it the final step? Just press play.
Thank you.
Hannay, Hannay, Hannay.
It's high tide. Monday the 15th of June, 1914, in Bradgate in Kent.
Someone's gonna die.
Nom 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 nom. Oh, this is good. Tell him.
Oh, yeah.
Rather. I arrived once again at Trafalgar Lodge. Scaife's man would be posted by now, but there was no sign of a soul.
Plenty of men, though.
Doorbell. Can I play with the flag?
No. If it doesn't go ding-dong.
If it doesn't do the full Big Ben thing.
Oh,
Push
God.
doorbell simulator.
I get my finger out of my pocket.
Oh, you pulled
Pull
these.
the
Oh, this is an
doorbell.
old-fashioned doorbell. Okay, that's allowed.
Is Mr. Appleton at home?
Yes, sir. Please come in.
Ooh, thank you, my
Crap,
love.
now I need to do some talking. I'd hope you said no.
My plan had been to walk straight into the dining room, and by a sudden appearance wake in the men that start of recognition which would confirm my theory. But when I found myself in that neat hall, the place mastered me.
Who may I say is calling?
Richard Hannay.
If you could wait in the smoking room, I'll let Mr. Appleton know you're here.
Aren't all rooms the smoking room?
Possibly.
Realizing my mistake, I pulled myself together and ran after the maid.
I mean, Mr.
Scudder!
My name is... Scudder.
But I was too late. They all had rifles pointed at me.
Before
Mr. Hannay, did you wish to see me?
I think we have met before, and I guess you know my business.
The light in the room was dim, but so far as I could see their faces, they played the part of mystification very well.
Maybe. Maybe. I haven't a very good memory, but I'm afraid you must tell me your errand, sir, for I really don't know it.
Well then, I have come to tell you that the game's up.
All this time I seemed to myself to be talking pure foolishness.
I have a warrant for the arrest of you three gentlemen.
Arrest? Arrest? Good God, what for?
He looked really shocked.
For the murder of Franklin Scudder in London on the 23rd day of last month.
Is he holding a sausage?
I never heard the name before.
And that was the Portland Place murder. I read about it. Good heavens. You must be mad, sir. Where do you come from?
Scotland Yard.
Have some dinner first. Though I hadn't an ounce of confidence in me, I forced myself to play the game.
Don't get flustered, Uncle. It's all a ridiculous mistake. But these things happen sometimes, and we can easily set it right. It won't be hard to prove our innocence. I can show you that I was out the country on the 23rd of May, and Bob was in a nursing home. You were in London, but you can explain what you were doing.
Right, Percy. Of course, that's easy enough. The 23rd. That was the day after Agatha's wedding. Let me see, what was I doing? Came up in the morning from Woking and lunched at the club with Charlie Simons. Then, oh yes, I dined with the fishmongers. I remember, for the punch didn't agree with me and I was seedy next morning. Hang it all, there's the cigar box I brought back from the dinner.
See, I couldn't have killed him. I've got cigars.
After that, for a minute, there was utter silence. The old man was staring at his plate and fumbling with a nut, the very model of an innocent bewilderment.
Yeah, would you like a peanut?
I was in London. I was in the right
I
place at the
think
right
so.
time, but I've got some
You see, you are
cigars.
mistaken. We want to assist the law like all Englishmen, and we don't want Scotland Yard to be making fools of themselves. That so, Uncle?
Certainly, Bob.
I mean, Jim.
The old fellow seemed to be recovering his voice.
Certainly. We'll do anything in our power to assist the authorities, but this is a bit too much. I can't get over it.
How Nellie will chuckle. She always said you would die of boredom because nothing ever happened to you. Now we've got it thick and strong.
It couldn't be acting. It was too confoundedly genuine.
Oh, yes, just think of it. What a story to tell at the club. Really, Mr. Hannay, I suppose I should be angry to show my innocence, but it's too funny. I almost forgive you the fright you gave me. You looked so glum. I thought I might have been walking in my sleep and killing people.
He probably is. Oh, and then they all disappeared.
Let's go smoke some stuff.
I like the picture on the wall there. To cover my confusion, I got up, stretched, sat down again, walked to the front door and switched on the electric light. The sudden glare made them blink, and I stood scanning the three faces. I made nothing of it. One was old and bald, one was stout, one was dark and thin. They seemed exactly what they professed to be, and I could not have sworn to one of them. I could see nothing to connect them with the moorland desperadoes.
Oh, well, maybe you're all innocent then. Sorry, where's the next train?
Are you reassured by your scrutiny, sir?
Play the game, Hannay. I couldn't find a word.
I hope you'll find it consistent with your duty to drop this ridiculous business. I make no complaint, but you see how annoying it must be to respectable people.
I mean, I, for one, can just see this guy lying through his teeth. But hey, I shook my head.
Oh, Lord. This is a bit too thick.
Do you propose to march us off to the police station? That might be the best way out of it, but I suppose you won't be content with the local branch. I have the right to ask to see your warrant, but I don't wish to cast any aspersions upon you. You're only doing your duty. But you'll admit, it's horribly awkward. What do you propose
It's
to
the
do?
most English arrest I've ever seen. You sure?
Everyone down on the ground! For a moment, I was very near damning myself for a fool and asking their pardon.
Meantime, I vote we have a game of bridge. Give
Well,
Mr.
that is
Hannay time to
absurd.
think over things.
Now there's four of us. It'll be a
Wanting a
lovely
fourth
thing to
player.
do.
Thanks, sir.
I accepted it as if it had been an ordinary invitation at the club.
Oh, Hannay.
Yes.
Yes, I
Hannay. Stand by your guns. There's a,
I
you're
must
under
let you know, Mr. Hannay, we only play bridge of death. I felt mesmerised by the whole place, by the air of obvious innocence. Not innocence merely, but frank, honest bewilderment and concern in the three faces. We went into the smoking room, where a card table was set out, and I was offered things to smoke and drink.
like cards and books.
The three were talking easily, just the kind of slangy talk you will hear in any golf clubhouse. I must have cut a rum figure sitting there knitting my brows with my eyes wandering. My partner was the young dark one. I play a fair hand at bridge, but I must have been rank bad that night. They saw that they'd got me puzzled, and that put them more at ever their ease. I kept looking at their faces, but they conveyed nothing to me. It was not that they looked different. They were different. I clung desperately to the words of Peter Pioneer.
Shoot them in the face.
Then it happened. I'm afraid we're going to have to kill you, Mr. Hannay.
A giant hand came out
And a
the sky.
giant spider. It was the moment I remembered when I had stood before him in the moorland farm with the pistols of his servants behind me. Some shadow lifted from my brain, and I was looking at the three men with full and absolute recognition.
Dum dum dum.
Bob, Percy, and Appleton.
Bob was...
The dark lean man, he was the murderer. Now I saw cruelty and ruthlessness, where before I'd only seen good humour. His knife had skewered Scudder to the floor, and his kind had put the bullet in Carolides. That's it. The plump man's features seemed to dislim, and form again as I looked at them. He hadn't a face, only 100 masks that he could assume when he pleasured. Pleasured? Please, my sincere apologies. That chap must have been a superb actor. Perhaps he'd been Lord Alloa of the night before. Perhaps not. It didn't matter. I wonder if he was the fellow that had first tracked Scudder and left his card on him. Scudder had said he lisped, and I could imagine how the adoption of a lisp might add terror. He was the pick of the lot. He was sheer brain. Icy, cool, calculating, as ruthless as a steam hammer. Now that my eyes were opened, I wondered where I'd seen that benevolence. His jaw was like a chilled steel, and his eyes had the inhuman luminosity of a bird's. See that chiseled jawline.
But where's your proof, Hannay? Or is it just
I need proof, Hannay, otherwise the boss is going to be lighting a fire under my ass.
and stuff?
I went on playing, and every second a greater hate welled up in my heart.
Bob, look at the time. You'd better think about catching your train.
That doesn't sound
Bob's got
suspicious.
to go to town tonight.
The voice rang now as false as hell. I looked at the clock, and it was nearly 10:30.
I'm afraid he must put off his journey.
Oh, damn. I thought you'd dropped that rot. I simply got to go. You can have my address, and I'll give you any security you like.
No, you must stay.
I'll go bail for my nephew. That ought to content you, Mr. Hannay.
As I glanced at him, his eyelids fell in that hawk-like hood which fear had stamped on my memory. A pair of strong arms gripped me around the waist, covering the pockets in which a man might be expected to carry a pistol.
Are you frisking me, sir?
Not
Get
again.
your hands off me! Schnellfahren! Das Boot! Das Boot!
I grappled the old chap, and the room seemed to fill with figures. I saw the plump one collared, but my eyes were all for the out-of-doors, where Franz sped over the road towards the railed entrance to the beach stairs. One man followed him, but he had no chance. I stood staring, with my hands on the boy's throat, for such a time as a man might take to descend those steps to the sea. Suddenly, my prisoner broke from me and flung himself on the wall.
Splat!
And then he exploded. The stairway had been completely destroyed.
As far as I
He
can
is
tell.
safe. You cannot follow in time. He's gone. He has triumphed. Der schwarze Stein ist in der
I
Siegeskrone.
don't know what Siegeskorner means.
The Seagull's Corner.
Oh, okay. There was more in those eyes than any common triumph. They had been hooded like a bird of prey, and they now flamed with a hawk's
You
pride.
already said that.
This man was more than a spy. In his foul way, he had been a patriot. Then he began to sing.
I am a man. No, forget it.
As the handcuffs clinked on his wrists, I said my last word to him.
I hope Franz will bear his triumph well. I ought to tell you that the Ariadne for the last hour has been in our hands.
That explosion was your friend
Blowing up
himself.
with...
Gunpowder. He smouldered quietly.
So your men are never going to get to the... Well, if they do get to the boat, it's in our hands.
Blast! Really, is that it? Well, it is, I suppose, a story from 100 years ago.
What are you saying? So,
I'm saying stories from 100 years ago typically involved very little in the way of resolve at the end.
well, it's pretty resolved. I mean, as they said, the boat was in English hands, and so therefore they could not get away. The one guy that sacrificed himself to cut off the escape route is in several pieces.
It's quite a decent-sized cast here.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Oh, I see the stuff on the left here. They've got some sketches and bits and pieces. I'll tell you what, it was a very, very pretty game. And not really a game as such as an interactive thing, but I like the idea of being able to go at it at one's own pace.
It's a really big, nicely put together PDF.
Motion PDF, designed by
comic.
Paul Scott Canavan.
With lots of other things.
Aww. What's this? Suddenly, the music's gone a bit...
What?
Is that necessary?
What the, what is this?
39 steps.
Just 39 steps.
39 steps. Go get your 39 steps. 39 steps.
Paid for by the Scottish Observer with music by Skrillex's brother.
Lesser known brother.
Scottex or something.
Theme tune and tracks. Cybeg.
39 steps.
39 steps. Or maybe it's one of those German composers, like of thoroughly modern music.
Kraftwerk.
39 steps.
It's very, very good. And stuff happens to poor Richard Hannay.
I should tell you at this point, we're actually recording this in Germany. We are hoping to make it back.
It's fine. But listen, Hannay's a character. He's quite the character because he's like...
There's the John Buchan Museum in Peebles. That's where the John Buchan, who's the author.
Oh yeah.
Avon Quest. I'm pretty certain I've heard of Avon Quest.
We'll have to googly them.
And the Gallic Books Council. The National Library of Scotland, The Observer, the Scotsman Publications Limited, the Savoy, Ford Motor Company Limited, Harris Tweed Hebrides, Images of London website, Police Memorabilia Collectors Club, Darville Telephone Museum, De Beers. Das Beer. Family of Lieutenant Granville Craig and the trustees of the Little Heart Centre for Military Archives.
Yes, you can take a picture of my moustache and some of
I should say lieutenant. We've adopted that horrible American word. Designed and directed by Simon Meek.
Well done, Meeky.
Meek by name, but not by nature. For this is a positively riveting story, aptly composed for interactivity such as this game that we have played.
It wasn't always riveting.
To be honest, it wasn't always riveting, but I really am looking forward to reading the book.
Oh, good. I think then probably, as you said earlier, then this it's done its job. The game has done its job.
Story mechanics. Thank you very much indeed. It was very good. Thoroughly enjoyed that. And not that they're going to watch that, but you never know.
It's absolutely. I'll say one thing. It's absolutely nothing like the play that I watched. They probably just...
Anything stand out? Oh, there you go. In memory, with greatest thanks to John Buchan, 1875 to 1940.
Yeah.
1940, eh?
Yeah.
He didn't live to see the atrocities of the Second World War.
No. Or of,
but I'd love to have seen anything he'd written about it.
Yeah. Well, that's it, I suppose. Until the epilogue.
Hang on, what's all this about?
3 weeks later, as all the world knows, we went to war. I joined the new army the first week and, owing to my Matabele experience, got a captain's commission straight off. But I had done my best service, I think, before I put on khaki.
I think that's that award you... Oh, congratulations, you've completed the 39 steps. We hope you've enjoyed playing this story as much as we did making it. Hopefully you see for our next digital adaptation.
A very hungry caterpillar. The very human caterpillar. Anyway.
The human-centered what?
No!
Oh, dear.
Never mind.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us for the 39 steps, and for those of you who stuck through it from beginning to end, I personally salute you, which you cannot see from your end of the screen, because obviously we don't do that face cam business.
Otherwise I'd have to get Dressed?
Yeah, I mean, trousers and everything. Gosh.
God damn.
But thank you for joining us, and we do hope you'll join us for the next video game in our A to Z challenge. This has been the 39 Steps, and precluding a word from Mr. T-Dude here. Anything at all you'd like to say? Yeah. We'll see you the next time,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen. Bye.